Here's your Jam Radio 90-second news update, Tuesday, 10th March. Windrush victims have voiced anger over new UK government plans to offer some rejected asylum seekers up to £40,000 to voluntarily leave the country. Under proposals being considered by the Home Office, families could receive up to £10,000 per person, capped at 4 people, if they agree to return to their home countries. Campaigners say the policy is unfair, pointing out that many Windrush victims are still waiting for compensation years after being wrongly treated as illegal immigrants by the UK government. President Donald Trump is expected to take steps aimed at easing global oil prices following a phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Reports say the two leaders discussed the possibility of removing sanctions on Russian oil exports.
Can you tell us more about your call with Russian President Vladimir Putin today?
Yes.
What did you discuss?
Yes, I had a very good call with President Putin. We had a lot of people on the line from our side, from his side. We were talking about Ukraine, which is just a never-ending fight. And there's tremendous hatred between President Putin and President Zelensky. They can't.
Analysts say allowing more Russian oil back onto global markets could increase supply and potentially bring fuel prices down. However, any move to lift sanctions is likely to face strong political debate in Washington and among U.S. allies over the war in Ukraine. Cuban doctors are set to leave Guyana as the United States continues to apply pressure on the decades-old Cuban Medical Cooperation Program. The initiative has sent Cuban healthcare workers to countries across the Caribbean and Latin America to help fill shortages in local medical systems. Supporters say the program provides vital care to underserved communities, while U.S. officials argue the doctors are being exploited by the Cuban government. And President Donald Trump is also facing criticism following comments about a deadly missile strike on a girls' school in southern Iran on February 28. More than 160 people were killed, many of them children. Trump suggested Iran may have obtained a U.S.-made Tomahawk missile and struck its own territory.
President, you just suggested that Iran somehow got its hands on a Tomahawk and bombed its own elementary school on the first day of the war. But you're the only person in your government saying this. Even your defense secretary wouldn't say that when he was asked, standing over your shoulder on your plane on Saturday. Why are you the only person saying this?
Because I just don't know enough about it.
Here's your Jam Radio weather. Here in the UK, today's weather looks mostly cloudy with patchy rain moving from the west across the country. Some brighter spells may develop later this afternoon. Temperatures are expected to reach around 9 to 10 degrees Celsius, with breezy conditions developing into the evening and further rain possible overnight. That's it for your Jam Radio news update. Stay tuned for more news and great music throughout the day.